Good evening, folks, and welcome back again to Biblical Britain Uncoded. I've got the most astonishing code to show you. One of the best codes for me personally that I think I've ever done. If you're new to this, some of this it will make sense, but obviously what you're seeing is a sort of one part of a much bigger code. And this code really reveals the whole reason when in one of the last code, one of the Trixie codes, it says keeps word. And when I started this, really, I did it because somewhere in Job, I think it's in Job, it said something about, will you do this for your girls? Or will you do it for your daughters? Or something, it's something along those lines. Well, I'm not going to say anything more on it, but obviously keep that in mind, because they're what locked me into all of this, and I'm about to show you the most astonishing code that I've done to date. Again, I say it every time, but this is astonishing. Really, for me, it just sums it up, and everything is coming together and making a whole lot of sense. I've got more code than I can fit in this video, I think, so I'll just get on with it. Firstly, I need to do a little recap. I want to bring this up because, right, there's an Ark ship basically drawn in the map. Now, there's the constellation of Giraffe. As you can see, right, Giraffe, Carina, Vela, and Puppis used to be all one constellation called the Argus Navis, and it was broken into three. Now, what's incredible about this constellation, you've got a keel, a sails, and a stern, obviously, so you've got all parts to an ark. And then you've got, well, and every dockside has a crane anyway, but you've got Giraffe, which is obviously the hidden city, or the now decoded Jerusalem. Jerusalem being, or the first part of Jerusalem being named after the constellation Giraffe. The second part just being Melin, the former home of the Silures, or what we know as the Israelites. And then they just reversed it to and it's a Mel. So you add the two together and you effectively get Jerusalem. Okay, without getting in too deep, like I say, if this comes over too much, you'll need to go through a lot, you know, all the other code. But obviously, there's a lot of code that makes this code understandable. First thing I want to do, I forget which order they're in. But you know, I keep setting tab on that page. Right, these are the. I think these are the. Right, one is. Which one is which? Which? Right, the first one I think is. Right, I wish I'd have written this down. One of these is actually is Carina. You say that's no, right, I forget which order they go in, but effectively these are the messages that you get from all the stars in these constellations. Sorry, I forget these in order. I've done a more comprehensive one anyway earlier in the Ark and the Elephant, I think it's called the video, but effectively, rather just to save time, these are the messages you get from these constellations. It says, I've written the HHH, the three H's for a reason. 3 by H. I'll come to that a little later on, but just to note there's 3 H's there, and they are for a reason. Okay, you've seen Ark H. H just means safe zone, set in Sam. Now, for anyone who doesn't know, the River Severn, was now the River Severn, was so say named by the Romans Sabrina. Well, it isn't, it's the River Sab, and what they did, they've just added it and made it Sabrina. But it's the original Sab, and then you take your bath at Roos on a Saturday. Saturday is an anagram of at Roos Day. So what you did, you Sab bath at Roos Day. This is where it all comes. This is what you did, or symbolic Sabbath. Okay, it's all in a map H. Well, H again is a map safe zone, and obviously it's all done in a map. I map as Ark upon us. I'm guessing that's maybe talking of the timeline, I think. The Ark upon us, you know, is getting to that point now with everything going on with the war. ID Sale, well, that's Salisbury. Salisbury, because there's parts of this ark spread around. There's Carkeel in Cornwall, which is car in a keel. So you've got Carkeel in a Carkeel, because the keel of the ship is actually made up of the M4 motorway, as you'll see when I show you the map and the picture of the ship. Obviously, this is something else that connects to this ship that is absolutely astounding. Okay. He's seen Ark H keel in map, which I did, or the H, which is the car keel. Note as well, the name for Caldecott, which sits within the ark, is Silcoid. Okay, when you translate this to English, it says, I think it's keel Y code or something, is it like that? But it's, so when you unscramble it, it's Y code keel. Okay, so it's obviously, again, it gives you it's just another clue, and this is the Welsh word for Caldecott, which becomes very apparent also in this whole thing, as you'll see as we go on. Okay, the last one, it says, Noah is true as said, I am ID. Okay, well, you don't get no better an ID for Noah than an ark. And I think this is a kind of Noah's Ark Mark II, but it's not a literal ark, it's a symbolic ark. Okay, so with this in mind, yeah, boom, yeah, I'll just move on to the next part. Okay, folks, again, just a kind of recap, because this is all relevant to the main message that this incredibly creates. Okay, now, forgive my terrible drawing, but this effectively is what you get, and I'll show you a picture of it anyway, because I need to show you where this all goes. But what you have is the Royal Gwent Hospital. The line runs through all these places. What you've got is Wilcrick Hillfort, Mega, Clanviangle Roggett, Caldecott. Sorry, that's wrong. That was right. So you got Wilcrick, Mega, I think it is. It's Wilcrick, Mega, Clanviangle Roggett, and Caldecott. It's something along those lines, but they're the place names. Up here you have Earlswood Crick, Earlswood. I think I've done this all wrong actually, but this should be Port Skewett. So this should be Sudbrook. Sorry, yeah, I've made a mess of this, but this should be Sudbrook. This is Port Skewett. Yeah, the line effectively meets at Port Skewett. So this would be Sudbrook. This is Caldecott here, Sudbrook, Port Skewett, above Port Skewett is Crick, then Earlswood. Yeah, forgive me, it's not basically, but if you go back to the last video, I'll explain it, and it all goes down to Temple Meads. Okay, when you unscramble the line, it says, all these place names, line 1, this line here, and all the place names, it says, I don't want to go through it all because I won't have time. But it says, I go ID Cassidy with RGH. I will C train trick C. CC is the 33 as well. 33 degree secret of the Freemasons is the CC. And that's why they use 33, C being the third letter of the alphabet. Angel Marco go, he forget all. Then this line down is Earlswood is the first point, I know that, but basically when you scrabble it, it says seal word, but that's locking, because the C is so locking. When you put the trick C into King Solomon's temple, it says so locking Mon's temple, also is so locking Mon's key, obviously the key fort and everything else that goes with this. Right, so seal word, trick C, adds me temple, that's Temple Meads. Well, that is the C train trick C. So it's the train trick being the Temple Me adds. okay, or adds me temple, because obviously this all ties with Solomon's temple. Trust book is the Atlas. A last message is basically what I'm showing you is the Atlas message, or a last message written using map tricks. There's a P should be in the word matrix. Once you work the P out, drop it in there, it's map tricks. And you'll see that come up in some later, well, something later. Okay, keeps word, right. This is the important thing here, keeps word. Like I said, he said, will you do this for your girls? And my thing was, my two daughters, my babies, my little angels, obviously I could see bad things coming. That's the bottom line. I don't know why. I knew it was China, Russia. I can't even explain it, but something was telling me that bad things were coming, and eventually this led me onto this path. But the biggest thing that sort of me agreeing to do it was when it said, will you do it for your girls? And I remember distinctly saying, yes, I will. And it was sort of like, as long as you follow diligently what I say, which I have done, did my Sabbaths, stopped eating pork, all the things that relate to the Silures. They're not the Israelites. They're not Israelites, it's Silures. Okay, and what I'm about to show you is he's showing me that he kept his word in the most unbelievable, well, it's astonishing, but right, bear with me 2 seconds. We're going to shoot to the stars. Sorry folks, just quickly, I've already sort of started writing this in, but just to show you this central line that makes the mast, and it also pinpoints, if you thought you could almost do this like I wouldn't say a broken line, but it's almost an indicator as well, but it's just to line it up basically. These are like coordinates that line up to give you this template of an arc. Okay, now the 3 points that this hits is, and this is specific, right? The first one is this one here, is Kyle House, where I lived as a lad, which is going to become important now. Coent House and the padlock, the temple, that is literally what you do is you place the line, it goes directly between the two, then I'm going to shorten it, but then it goes through 57 Longfellow Road, Caldecott, which is where I lived as a, well, we moved from the, I was in the temple, basically we lived in the temple, my mum and dad lived in the house literally 15-20 feet from the lock. Then I was taken to the Royal Glen Hospital. I came back, obviously I'd been born. This all connects with the Royal Arch of Cancer, being the RGH. Now, coming down, this passes through then where we moved to. Literally, it's like a block of flats, and this is the back garden. So this line cuts directly through the concreted back garden. Okay, I could say it was the concrete jungle. That just came into my head, but that'll make sense in a bit. Okay. Then it follows down, goes across the River Severn, hits specifically. There's basically in Noah's Ark Farm Zoo. There's a kid's maze, and in it is a picture of one of the pictures in it is a giraffe. This becomes so amazingly important in this code. Okay, I'm just going to pause for a second, but I just wanted to explain this makes up this arc, and this will all make sense when I show you the real map. And where this leads to is, like I say, is absolutely astonishing how accurate this is, and over thousands of miles, and connecting to a constellation as well. Bear with me 2 seconds. Okay, folks, right, okay, we need to, right, I know this sounds ridiculous at this point, but we need to identify a giraffe, okay? Well, 2 giraffes and eventually 3. Okay, and this will make sense as we get to it in the most unbelievable way. Right, the first thing we have to do is work out, right, there's the Camelopardalis is the constellation of the giraffe, okay, and it's coded. Right, the first thing is, well, it's the giraffe. And what you have to do, firstly, you have to work this bit out, okay? And what this actually says is, and I'm actually doing what it's about to reveal. Right, Marco, please, I lad. Well, I'm pleading to you, I'm telling you that I'm the lad. Okay, where do I know this? Because the Longfellow is the giraffe, and Caldecott, where we actually lived, the set sort of the middle of the three, 57, that makes 12 as well. There's probably 12 tribes, I'm guessing, related. Longfellow Road, Caldecott. Well, Caldecott is Sea Laddine Cot. Well, when I was in the cot, because we moved from this house to this one, so I was obviously we were only in this house about three. I think I was from what I gather, it's about 7 months in total in the womb and out that we lived, where we, you know, my parents lived in this house when I was born, right next to the padlock that I eventually unlocked, and maybe it comes down to become Noah, but that, you know, the Noah Mark 2. Okay, so 57 Longfellow Road, Caldecott. So Marco, please, I lad. Well, that's Sea Lad, I cot. It's Caldecott, and then you've got your giraffe is your Longfellow. Okay, this identifies one giraffe, but hidden in the same constellation is a second giraffe. Bear with me 2 seconds. Okay, folks, all right. In the constellation of the giraffe, there are two nebulas, the Oyster and Kemble's Cascade. Obviously, and what you do is you write it down, Oyster, Kemble's Cascade, and then nebulas. So it's Oyster, Cascade, nebulas. Now you encode the message written into this. And it says, so this will make a second giraffe. What it effectively makes, I know this is going to sound ridiculous at this point, but a big giraffe and a little giraffe, and that is going to become apparent when you see this whole code. Okay, this says, where are we? There's something in here. Oh my God. I've done one too many S's. 1, 2, and there's 1, 2, 3. Sorry, I've accidentally scrubbed one. So B, C, A, S. Oh no, there's the S. Sorry, I think I was right. L, U, N, A, B, Cas, Luna. You can check this yourselves, folks. Right, it says Kelsey be most sacred, be Cas Luna. Well, Kelsey is my oldest daughter. She's 13. She's obviously the oldest. I think this is why she's saying most sacred. But there's a little bit more to the word sacred, but we'll come to that. So this accounts for the small giraffe. Kelsey be, and she'd be Cass because she was Cass Lewis, born in the Royal Gwent Hospital, same as me. And she's Luna because she was born on the 3rd of July, 3 days after me. And she is effectively a moon child. And this becomes again apparent why she's a moon child as well. Bear in mind that you've got the lock, the key, and the moon that goes around it. So it's just backing up as well, but the lock and the key fit as well. But I'll come to that as we go on. So the coding, Oyster, Kemble's Cascade, nebulas, is Kelsey B most sacred, B Cas Luna. Okay, right. Okay, so that accounts for a big giraffe and a little giraffe. Okay, now all we have to do, well, we'll find the other giraffe now. But let me just hold you there a second, and I'll show you where we have to go deep into Africa to find, or to uncode something, and then find where the other giraffe is hiding, or playing, I should say. Okay, folks, I'm not sure how well you can actually see this, but if you look for the Dabous Giraffes, this is what you'll find. It's an ancient petroglyph. Now, bear in mind, Yah says, I show you things in ancient times, so when they come to pass, you know that I did it and nobody else. And I am your God and Saviour, there is no other. Okay, well, this is proving, this is what this is proving. Okay, now, I'm not sure even if you can see this, but on here, what you've got, this is the big giraffe, and this is your little giraffe. So these are the two giraffes, and I can tell you now, the one is meant to represent, the big one is meant to represent me, the small one is meant to represent my oldest daughter, who's obviously as well, we're both encoded in the giraffe constellation. Okay, now, right, now bear in mind, and my question is, I've got two daughters. I've got another daughter, and obviously she's missing from from the equation. Right, let me just get this in center. Right, okay, let's have a look. Right, what you have, where the red dot is the actual location of the Dabous Giraffes. I've had to use the coordinates. You can't see them even when you go in on the map. But this is where they are. This is where the petroglyphs are. So this is the point Dabous Giraffes. I've added these little pointers in just to make it up. But as you can see, what you've got is an anchor. Now, I've also added an extra piece here, because if you follow this anchor, it goes to Cameroon. And when you unscrabble Cameroon, it says Marco 1. So just confirming that Marco is one of the giraffes. Okay, so what the anchor is made up, the places that the anchor is made up of, and most of them are covered, and I don't want to go in too far and sort of make a mess of this, but what you do, basically, I've used this. This is like the sort of kinky bit of the kink in the top sort of thing where the anchor sits at rest, the sort of thing that holds it together. You've got this anchor here, but along there is places, like I said, without actually messing it up. I've moved it across a bit, but just to give me a clue as well, this is how clever this is. In that I can see RGH and Roots, even though that is not part of this actual code. RGH is actually, but even though it's sort of not obvious, but it just gives me a guideline to tell me there is a code in it. In this this one here, the first two, Agadez and Tetrazine or something it's called, yeah, they're all covered up because the lines run through it. There's Tetrazine, I don't even know how to pronounce these, but whatever it's called. But in there, and between there and this point here, I've seen the word anchor. Up here, massive clue. I've moved it across again just to show you. It's Ark Mk2. Well, I see Mel and Melchizedek, and obviously the Mel. And I see Mel again there. So again, I know this should sit there actually in the middle. Again, I've moved it across. And then up here, you've got a Sodi. Forgive me where these arrows are slightly, because you've got to keep overlapping. These should be up there really, like I say, just to stop it from covering up the words as best as I can. But effectively, what you have is an anchor made up of place names. And this goes up, and for some reason, well, I say some reason, I know what it is. This is another place, it's Tarazook or something. Again, I can't show you it because it's mixed, but you will see it on the map. And here you have, oh, that should be over here. Sorry, folks. This is like a sort of anchor balance, but you have the two places, amazingly, with it. For some unknown reason, well, I say some unknown reason, I can't even find it now. Where are you? Oh no, it's down there. All right, bear with me. It is. You can see how difficult it is to put this together, so bear with me, folks. Right, but you've got Idles and Idles. They're both two places with the same name. There's a reason for this, because it's IDLs. And this is actually another, hang on, let me just write it on the board just before I forget. And this is highlighted twice. It's part of the bigger code, but it's also a double reminder for something else to ID as well, which I will show you. Okay, right. Okay, so effectively you've got this anchor. This is some sort of balancing thing, I think, but this connects it as well. There's a reason it goes through Niger and Algeria as well, because this reveals something else in itself that I will show you that is absolutely remarkable. Okay, I'll just hold you there, and I'll show you later where this all leads to. Okay, so here we go with the Dabous Giraffes. Okay. Right, firstly, Dabous Giraffe says you do Sab's giraffe, okay? Because there is a giraffe missing. I've obviously found me and my daughter Kelsey, my oldest. Right, these are all the places that make up the anchor. Algades, I don't even want to pronounce them. Right, again, like I say, it shows you some clues. Now, this is my other daughter's name, Ella. So that's a big clue for a start off. Okay, Dabous Giraffes, Ark Mk2, again, got the Mel, and this ID Idles. Right, IDLs, I can tell you now, is IDL's key, Angel's key. That's what it is, and what it is saying is the key, and this connects to the key as well. And then you'll see how this all fits together so perfectly. It's undeniable. Well, IDL's key. Well, the key to L doing all this is obviously trying to keep my young'uns safe. So it's highlighting this as well. I'll show you how Solomon's key connects now, because it's absolutely phenomenal. But the reason it does it twice is IDLs. Idles is IDLs, well, it's L's key, and the key is key to Solomon's kingdom, and that will connect to this as well, as you'll see in the most remarkable way. Let me just switch that light off a second. Okay, right, if you want to take all these down, and believe me, if anyone said, well, my brother drives me nuts because he won't look at this, but he'll see when it all happens. But he says you can anagram anything. Well, I challenge anyone in the world to pull off. Not only am I anagramming this, I'm actually showing a complete code going from the stars, from, well, it's beyond the miracle that this is even there. And how I found it, well, all that happened is I already had to sort of Camelot, Dallas, whatever it is. I sort of worked out the giraffe Longfellow Road, and I thought the giraffe in the art maze was me. But as you'll see, that proves not to be correct. Okay, but in the most amazing way, what it does reveal. Okay, so Dabous Giraffes is you do Sab's giraffe. The anchor is made up of all these. Again, if you want to write it down and check this off, it drove me nuts, this one. I got the message, but trying to get it in the right order was absolute murder. And obviously, I got help, obviously, from above, when it highlights things and shows me what gives me, I don't even know how to explain it, but it just does show me how to do it, basically, and what to put in. But it does make me work for it, I can assure you. And this one really made me work. Right, bear with me a second, and I shall show you the incredible message written in this anagrams too. Right, folks, probably the most amazing, most accurate codes I have ever, well, it probably isn't, but it feels that way because it is so precise and so accurate that and when you see how it fits on the map, this defies all human logic. And it is without doubt the work of the creator. Okay, it says IC and cassette. Use a Z because Z is the finality really, and that's what it's indicating. It says you add Sab's giraffe girl. Now bear in mind there are only two giraffes. There's me and Kelsey, so we need to find the third little giraffe. It says, we make Ella a little Ark Zoo maze ID, as I am our kids code. Well, the third little giraffe is basically in the maze at Noah's Ark Farm Zoo, the giraffe that I showed you, which lines up now as I'll show you. It says, use all RGH as one ID. Well, Kelsey, and Ella and their mother were actually all born in the Royal Gwent Hospital, the RGH. So what it's doing, and I'm about to tie the mother in as well in the most remarkable way that she will not thank me for, but it is what it is. We're not together now, but well, I'll explain all now. Yeah, right. It says guide at G. Well, G is the lock as well, because the lock fits with the IDL's key. Okay, and tag it. And then the last part, and I'm even doing it now as I'm even reading this, it says, see you Gringy. And I'm grinning from ear to ear. And I was, as I was encoding this, I was grinning because I knew exactly what it meant. But what it really means, and the reason that makes me grin more than anything, well, there's a few things. He sort of says, I am our kids' code, our kids' code. So he's sort of like, it's like as if they're, you know, he's taking care of them, and he's taking, you know, he's got them under his wing as well as mine. But obviously it means, and they're locked into the ark, and in the most miraculous way that I'm yet to show you. But the guide at G is the lock, and it says, and tag it. Well, if you go right, right. Okay, so let me just see. I see anchor set, so we did this anchor. You had Sab's Giraffe Girl. Well, the third girl that needs to be added is on the river, near the River Sab, in the place little. There's Noah's Ark Farm Zoo, obviously. We make Ella a little Ark Zoo maze ID, as I am our kids code. Again, he uses this we, and I don't know where. I'm sure that I must. You know, he says I was an angel, forget all, but. Obviously, I don't remember anything, but it must be right, because I'm sure that this we is like it's like I was there when he planned it. Obviously, I just, that's all I can, you know, pull from this or see from this code, because it keeps doing it over and over. But as you can see, without a doubt, and now I'll explain these as we go. Right, if I just show you where the map leads and how this all fits together. Okay, folks, right, so what we've got the anchor. Obviously, this part shouldn't be here, really. I'm only showing you it as a guiding line that just pinpoints that Marco's one. Obviously, it's meant to be there. But what we do is we follow it up. We got the kink where the anchors kind of come to rest. Right, then it goes through, this is Tarazook. And the reason there's Niger and Algeria is it represents their mother. Because when you actually break it down, it says, I a real ginger, and their mother is well, she dyes her hair, and she, like I say, she won't thank me for this, but she is, and this is where the word sacred mother is hidden, because it's a Cass red mother. As I say, she was born in Cass Newydd in the Royal Gwent Hospital as well. She is totally unaware that, but if you've got a sacred child, if you've got sacred children, you have to have a sacred mother. And she is, and this is the Cass red mother. The sacred Cass is just an anagram of the sack, and then you've got the red. But the red is representative of the hair. Now, when I had hair, I actually was, I wouldn't say I was outrightly red, but I was red. I got red in my hair and my both daughters as well. But they look more blonde than brown now. But when the sun shines on any of our hair, we've all got the red in there. But their mother is a real ginger, and that's what Algeria and Niger anagram too. A real ginger. Okay, so this is their mother, I guess, out in the desert, but looking after the two little, well, anchored in. But this is where my anchor is as well, because this is what has kept me anchored to this entire code and this entire thing. Okay, if I go across, as you can see, you get a natural curve as well, which makes this even more. But what I do is I follow the instruction on the map. It says, I see anchor set, you add Sab's Giraffe Girl. Well, we make her a little Ark Zoo maze as ID, as maze ID, as I am our kids code. Right, so if we go to where this meet, this comes across. So what we do is I drag the line up. It's a bit of a mess, but as you can see, it's all on the giraffe. But to get this on this, oh, it'd take me all day to do it. But these lines we should all overcross because there's space to move at where this meets now. But as you can see, this is my little Ella with a little giraffe. And my little one, she's beautiful, but she's autistic as well. She's 10 years old and she loves cuddly toys, and so to put her here. And she's kind of like, out playing in a little maze of her own with her animals. You could not sum her up better than this, the little giraffe in the ark. Okay, where does this go? Like I say, just to line these up, it's just hard work, but you guys can see they go through the giraffe. Now these lines cross. Now this line goes up here. Right, let's follow this line. So this is the line that comes up from the so you add Dabous Giraffe. Okay, well, we're crossing the Sab here. This is the Sab River, or the Sabbath is the River Severn, and what this does is connect. Right, what I've realised is right at the anchor point on the front of the ship. This is the Argus Navis I was telling you about. Now what you've got with these are the line codes. I mean, I've missed the sail because this thing keeps, let me just put it into there. Right, this thing keeps crashing. That's the reason I've done it. So I've got to be very careful how I do it. But what you've got, this is the Royal Gwent Hospital. So it says ID, where are we? Yeah, this is literally the Royal, I don't know if you, hang on, you can't see this. This is the entrance to the Royal Gwent Hospital. And this cuts through the code that I initially showed you about, it's all the Trick C code. So the line 1 of the ship makes literally, it gives you like a blueprint for the deck, goes to Port Skewett. The second line that goes down to Temple Meads runs from the back end of the ship and up to through the Cancer sign on the Zodiac star map, which says Go ID Cast Newith, the Gwynedd Zodiac. Goes through the Cancer sign, comes down, and literally it's all connects. Then you've got this, so basically it's made up. You've got the carina is a car in a keel. That's what carina, the keel is. Well, the car in the keel, because the keel is made up of the M4 motorway. This is Caldecott. You've got a deep weir as well, which is amazing because there's nothing like locks as far as I'm aware or whatever. But a deep weir is, I guess, is a port for a ship. Well, West End, that's becoming apparent because that's what's coming via Lucifer and which I'll show you some more on that as well. So you've got the line there, but this is where it gets incredible. So the centre mast of the ship goes from Noah's Ark Zoo. You draw it up, cuts directly. This is 57 Longfellow Road. This is where I see Lad I cot. This is literally where I lived, and I was in the cot because we moved from there when I was about 13. No, I was there for 7 years. So I must have been about 7 when we moved back up to Caerwent. But we moved from, well, to here. And this is your, as you can see, Longfellow, you've got Longfellow Road. So this is your giraffe, your Longfellow. And this goes up to directly between the lock on the padlock that opens up this whole matrix and matrix. It unlocks it with L's key. Remember I said the L's key? Well, this is what it unlocks this padlock. I'll show you something amazing on this. But this is the house that I was basically living, and this is where your temples, and this is where I was taken to the Royal Gwent Hospital, the Royal Arch in Cancer. I was born in the moon sign Cancer. Unlock all, well, you'd have to go back to the 3 Solomon parts of Solomon, but there is no doubt that I'm correct on this. Okay, right, now let me just quickly show you something so miraculous. It defies all logic. There is more than one code in this. But if you've noticed, I've shown many a time this floor plan. of the temple. Now, I don't know if you can see this. Right, firstly, there's at least one message in this. I believe there's two. But you've got Temenos path, ambulatory, but the centre of the lock is called Cella, C-E-L-L-A. Well, when you know the Trixie is so locking in Mon's temple, and then you realise it says C-Ella. Bear in mind that the IDL's key is ID Kelsey. Then you tie the Ella and you get C Kelsey Ella. Well, this is the lock and key that locked me into this whole code because I agreed to do it for them. And this is where Yah keeps his word, because he's showing me that they're already locked into this Ark ship. And they go, when this all takes place and the end time comes, with the Russians attacking and, well, all hell breaking out on Earth, quite frankly. But at the time of this happening, and I don't believe that's too far away, that I know they're going to be, he keeps his word, and he's locked the Kelsey and Ella with the key, L's key and the Cella, C Kelsey Ella. And again, I'll show you this now on the board, but as you can see, unbelievably, that also ties in with this lock here, and this is where I was born. So it's sort of like using both where I was born, where Ella was born. Maybe I was the little giraffe as well as a child, who knows. Let me just pull this over. There we go. So this is Kyle House. This is the RGH house as well, encoded in Orion, and it says head RGH house, the final land, because this is the promised land. For anyone who hasn't seen it, that's the padlock. Here's the key that unlocks it. It's a bit ragged, but you've got to mend the key first. The place called Kenny's Commander, it says Marco mends me key. It's just a little bit up north. All connects to it. Makes this ship. Like I say, I haven't put the sail there. Oh, it said, Karina says ID sail. Well, Salisbury is the ID for the sail. It says sailed by Roos. Literally, I didn't put it on here because this keeps crashing, especially when I'm using this. When I put too much on there, so I've kept it to a minimum. But all I do is draw in the sail by Roos and make this. Sorry, you can't see it. All I do is I literally just draw in the sail by Roos, and literally this sails by Roos. This is on the Sab, which is the Sab River, the Sabbath River, and yeah, like I say. So right, bear with me 2 seconds, folks. Okay, folks, just a quick recap. I say anchor set. Well, obviously we found the anchor is set down in the desert. You had Sab's giraffe girl. Well, obviously we pick her up. So the two that meet, the big giraffe, me, and then the second giraffe, Kelsey, we come up and we pick up Ella then, the little Ark maze, little Ark maze. So you've got your third giraffe. We make out a little Ark zoo maze. ID is I am our kids code. There's more code to that because we've got the Cella, which is Ciela, but there's a little bit more to that now. I'll show you. Use all RGH as one ID. Right, it says that because this line here, where the anchor meets, then joins up with this line, which heads straight to the RGH. Okay, this is Grey Hill View. It says View IL RGH. View IL RGH. And it also says, well, Stone Circle, because this relates to Grey Hill Stone Circle, which also says IL RGH. It's multiple code in it because it says well, the relevance to this is note circle, where there's a kind of circle shape, which is what makes up this back end of this sort of rounded back end of the ship. Amazingly, I can always draw ships, elephants. I've never drawn giraffes, but that's another thing. But it's mad. It just seems the things I was okay at drawing, I seem to be able to draw elephants as well. Okay, so this is the lock, Ciela. Okay, right. Now their mother is connected here between. In fact, just bear with me a second while I clear this off. Well, just before you guide at G. G is also the lock. So the lock is guide at G. So it's follow this line up and then guide at G, and that takes you, through. That shouldn't be there. That should be there. Longfellow Road, where I lived as a kid. From Noah's Ark through Longfellow Road up to the lock. up to the lock, and obviously that lock's in the house I lived in as well, and Ciela. Okay, right, so guide at G, that's guide at G, guide at the lock, and tag the lock, I think that is, and I'll show you the IDLs now, the idles. See you grin, well, I mean, you can imagine I'm grinning, well, honestly, there's no other. This code just says it all. If you don't, you know, I just hope people can see how real this is. Okay, just to tie this in, like I say, she won't thank me for this. Me and her mother, we split up, but we're still friends. But unfortunately, it was always going to work out this way. This is all planned, and it was all meant to happen, no matter what we did. So we're still friendly now. But hey, but we've got two beautiful children. And like I say, Sam, if you ever watch this, she's encoded as well down here. I know there's more code. Her name comes up numerous times in places down there. Yeah, I'm not giving. I tried to encode some of it, but I stopped. But because it's not the right time for it. I know it isn't. Anyway, well, this is. She's not like bright red, but she's certainly auburn. There's no doubt about that. You couldn't describe it. Okay, I'm a real ginger. That's why it is, because she is the Cass. She was born in Newport, also in the Royal Gwent Hospital. Red. This is where the red bit comes from. It's to do with the hair. Same as the fair rose, actually. The blonde fair rose. You know, the corn rose of corn, the corn walls. But it's a Cass red mother, which when you unscramble it, because all these words have meaning, because I'm going to show you the Divine Mother shortly as well. Okay, and well, this is the sacred. So she's the sacred mother of two sacred children. Right. Okay, so that's that bit. So let's, right. That explains the sacred mother as well. The giraffes, I guess, on being an angel. Then the mother of my children, well, sacred isn't. We've got a most sacred one, and well, but here we go anyway. Idless. Okay, is IDL. It's written twice because even though it's used in the other code, it's IDLs. Well, what is L's? As I showed you, it's L's key. Okay, the whole thing that locked me into this, it says about Israel, see, Israel should be Sinuri, going into captivity. Now, I agree, I knew I would go, well, what I thought was captivity when I agreed this was not quite what it means. But it effectively locks me into Jerusalem where I have to do my Sabbaths, otherwise I don't get this code. But this L's key goes into the cellar, and when you unscramble this, it says C count C and Ella, and they're what lock. And this is my boat. This is my beautiful. Well, they're L's keys because L's is short for angels. They're angel. It's an angel's key basically. In my angels, well, on the, I guess the key is mine as well. I don't know, but else, well, like I say, you can see it all written in there, clear as day. But there is also another code within that lock thing as well, which just ties it as well. But I'll show you that next. Just bear with me. Okay, folks, right, okay, all I've done is taken the word, all the words, it says Temenos and Temenos Path. These are the words that are written in the, on the temple plan, if you like. I'm not sure whether these are, I can't find anything for ambulatory written in Welsh or Latin. Temenos means tremendous path. Cellar means cell, and as I say, it's locking me into the cell you know, and literally that is what the captivity of Israel, or the captivity of the Siluri. This is also what has captivated me, I suppose, as well. But right, when you unscramble it, is literal anagram of sent you Marco, path be all at Mel. Well, Mel is the key, and when you take the, like I say, I just spotted this, I missed it. The angel's key and the cellar. So you've got the key is Lamelin, obviously. So this is sent you Marco, path be all at Mel. So Melin is the key. So the L's key, or the angel's keys, or angel's key to the cellar is and GC Kelsey Ella. And then you use the C to, and this is King Solo Mon's key. So locking Mon's key. This is again locking in the Temple of Solomon. Again, and miraculously fits together. So there's no way on this earth that I've got this wrong. I know that, and like I say, there's more to come yet. I don't even know if I'm going to have time to show everything, but the next bit is really important. So I'll move on. Okay, folks, right. Okay, this is incredible. How this is there is beyond all logic. Right, okay, Virgo, the constellation Virgo, the Virgin. Okay, this is about to reveal something, and so incredible. Again, how this is there, it's impossible. It can only be the work of the Creator sending a message. Right. Firstly, Virgo is I go RV. I go RV. Okay, so if we go to the RV, it's seen RV, which is the River Severn. Right, now there's a code made up of the rivers. The first one says Y Usk Avon 7, okay? When you unscramble this, it says you saw V on key, seen RV. Well, the RV is obviously is a meeting point. I've seen all that. But the V on the key is the ADVID, which is the David code, DAVID, ADVID. It's coded in King David. Without getting into this too much, if you basically all you do, if you go, you see the this is sort of thing with C Mel. Basically, I forget the order. It is M. Oh, I don't know, E L I N, whatever it is. But either way, when you go onto this the Masonic symbol, it effectively says C Melin. All you do is you overlay the C onto the clan. So you take the church out. Well, you can see I've done it here. You turn it to a C, and then you've got the Mel, and then you just add the V, and it gives you Clan Melvin. Well, Melvin is my father's name. It's also the elm tree, the replanted tree. Okay, which is important in this code. Right, okay, I'm just going to scrub this off because now, right, oh man, right, okay, see now, let's leave that there a minute. Right, there's a secondary code. Right, now this is what was odd. Because there's an upside down triangle. When you line up the rivers, you have the Y, the Usk, this is the RGH as well, where I've run it on the map, which crosses the Usk to get to the Y, to get to the Avon. Okay. A downward triangle, and the 7 would be in the middle, sorry. Okay, now the 7, right, a downward triangle actually represents the divine or divine feminine. The word divine is IB vine. Now the vine is what wraps around the Mel tree, or the Ark tree, same as Mel, and basically holds it together. Right, okay, now this is where it gets absolutely incredible. There's a secondary code that gives you the divine feminine. That also connects to the original code of the clan. Let me get this one right now. Right. Prepare to be shocked and amazed. Right, it's the same. Right, so we got the first key, which says you saw V on key. Well, the key is obviously on the melon. Right, Y Usk Avon. and 7. Right, secondary code. Well, I say secondary, this is important as the first one. So the key. Saw V, use Vernon key. Well, Vernon is my mother's maiden name, Jennifer Vernon. So the divine feminine, or the ID divine feminine, and this will make more sense when I show you the star constellation message. So if I use the V, use Vernon key, it's the tree and the vine, I guess, or the brings forth the vine, which is, I hate doing this. Right, what you've got as well is another tau to go with the others, which shows completion. So you've got the Melvin Vernon connection that creates the vine that goes around the tree. I think this is also represents the elm. This is the elm or the mel tree. Saw V, use Vernon key. Well, there's the Vernon key, and that creates the vine. ID vine. Well, it's the ID vine mother, and the Melvin is the elm tree. That's my father and my grandfather. They were both Mels, and I'm Marco at Melvin. So and again, it says they would call him the branch. Well, the branch, if you've got a Mel, which is an elm. Sorry, let's do it from the bottom. So my grandfather is like where the roots come up. Then you get the Mel tree, but this one is Marco App Mel, and it says they will call him the branch. And I think my children are the fruits. Kelsey and Ella, I've got a feeling it means the first fruits. But this also ties biblically as well. Okay, now, right, bear with me 2 seconds because I've got a lot to write with this one. I might have to change pen colour as well. Bear with me. Okay, folks, I know the blue ink is a bit darker. It's not the best, but I'm hoping you can see enough to be able to follow me with this. Right, I go RV. So it's telling me to go to the rendezvous to get the message that I've shown you, to connect my mother and my father and the vine and the tree. Okay. When you look at the constellation, this is not exactly as it is. I forget how it kinks and whatever. I think it's had some shape like that. But I didn't realise this until I uncoded the message. But what's amazing is you've got, it's like as if this is pointing to something, because what you've got here is ID Vine Matrix. So that's sort of like, it's like telling me almost like an instruction. And what you have here is, it's using a Z, but if I change that, it says CH in the place of the womb or the birthing canal. Sorry, Mum, I know you're watching this, bless you, or you will be. But I think the message, well, the message is phenomenal, and even more so when you see the actual star constellation message, which I'll show you now. But just in case you want to check it, and again, this will frighten me a little bit because there's a lot of I's and A's in it, and it takes a while. It'll lead me to it, but then I've got to something try and work it out, and I just have to ask for help. But what this tells you is, well, it's quite shocking, to be honest. And believe me, I don't say any of this lightly, but like, you know, well, it is what it is. I'll just show you the code, right? Bear with me 2 seconds. Okay, folks, this is the message written. I go RV. Right. Now, the Virgin, right, firstly, UID as I am vine. Okay, as I just showed you, I am vine. Now, I've highlighted the I am, and I hate using these sort of expressions because I know, right, what I am is, when Moses goes in to rescue the Silures from Cornwall, effectively, that's because this is what this is all about. It's all to do with Britain. He says, well, how will they recognise me? And Yah says to him, tell them I am and I am sent you. And what this is doing is showing it. I don't get, honestly, it fries my head how this relates to me, because I would never have believed any of this in a million years. And if it wasn't in code, I wouldn't even entertain saying it or showing it, and it wouldn't even cross my mind. But it's being almost put on me without, well, I have to show it because it's part of the code, and the code is impossibly brilliantly done to reveal things. So UID as I am vine. Okay, so I am the vine, basically. The Siluri are the vine, not the Israelites. They're Siluri. Okay, they're the ones that wrap round the Mel tree, because the Siluri were at the fort Clan Melin. Okay. I am Marco Matrix. You couldn't even put it. The P is the padlock, add P lock. You put the P in the matrix and you get the matrix. And it's an Atlas message, a last message written using matrix. I seen RV is this, or I seen this is the river, this is a 7, river 7. I seen RV has a V. So a V, use Vernon Key. Jen has a V. Well, my mother's name is Jennifer Vernon. Jen Vernon Key. Well, the Jen Vernon key fits on the Melvin key, which creates the vine. I spy a liar. Well, the liar, I'm afraid, is the Virgin. Okay. Now, this is where it gets crazy. Well, not, well, it is written as clear as day. Right. Within that triangle, oh, Christians are really, you need to seriously look at these videos, because this is showing you beyond, and I'm not making this stuff up, and I do not want to mislead anybody. I'll show you something else in a second. It's quite funny as well. Well, it's not funny, but it sort of covers me. Right, okay. Right, this triangle. Well, firstly, it connects at the RGH as well. This is where I was born, so this is what creates the vine. Then you've got the use V on key. Right, in this you have Mega, Undy, and Whitson. This is not the best. If I follow this line in a direct line, it goes to a place called Newport. It's not the Newport this way, but it just ties in the code again to tie with the RGH. Right. How does this work now? Bear with me. Right, sorry. This is not Undy. This is right. So this line, you follow it directly. How does it go? Bear with me. Right, we go from. Oh, right. Yeah, right. Sorry. Bear with me a second. I got it on the map to show you now as well. Right. So spearing it. Right. This line comes here. Then it goes up to Mega, then to Undy. And this is what it effectively. This is what it does. This is the pinpoint of the river Y. This is right. I can't draw this, but under my Leviathan, it actually says, "Can you put a hook in his jaw?" Well, this would be a hook that goes into Leviathan's jaw on my big map, the giant shark. Because this literally crosses the line where the mouth of the shark is. Leviathan and he's got the fish's tail as the little fish that becomes the big shark, basically, which is just telling you that the Vatican is lying, among other codes I have as well. Well, this is Mega, this is Undy, this is Whitson. And what that says is, when you unscrabble, well, let's just do it so you know I'm not making this up. Mega, Undy, how's it spelled? Whitson. Okay, these are place names, obviously, in the area. Well, this says bear in mind the triangle that it's in. I'm God, Mary with Son. And bear in mind that the last part of this message says, I spy a liar. And the Virgin actually goes in, well, it fits in there, that's where it fits. When I go RV, I spy a liar. And there's the RV message, is that the Divine Mother, not to be mixed up, there's a Sacred Mother, Cass Red Mother, which is the mother of my children, but this is my mother, Jen Vernon, or Jennifer Vernon, which is encoded completely, even in the constellation. It says, Jen has I've seen RV as a V, Jen has a V, I spy a liar. I'm telling people, I don't know how, well, how this, I don't even know what to say really. It clearly gives a message that we've been deceived, and all this Jesus saving anyone and coming on a white horse from the clouds is absolute nonsense. And I think, well, and I can only go, and I'm going by code, and I would never ever, believe me, I'm not someone, you know, I'm not looking for, I'm not even looking, I don't even know how I got into, well, I know how I got into it, but how you explain this, I don't know. And I did not make this code up. This is what I've been given and led. And if you go back through my videos, there is a million coincidences, well, what you would normally, may individually call coincidences, but there's only so far coincidence can go when it becomes a truth. And the truth is that Yah is God, and he sent me to wake up, I suppose. I've been on a recon mission all my life. I think he's been, you know, and I obviously lived a normal life and seemed like everyone else, and obviously not having a clue. But I see, well, I must have been an angel, an archangel before. There's more code I've got with that, but I won't have time to do it today. But you know, the code speaks for me. I do not say anything. I don't even need to say what this is. I mean, really, it's so obvious that what this is saying that it's frightening. But the message it sends, and why? Well, before I go, let me move on quickly to one other code. That as well. Again, this is why we need a safe zone. I'm about to show you. Sorry, just while I forgot about this one, but massively important. Right. Oh, sorry, it's right. Hold on, bear with me. 2 seconds, guys and girls. Let me just double check this one. Okay, folks, just so sorry for that. I just wanted to make sure I got this right. I'd actually misspelled it, missed an E. Right. Also, it says, well, firstly, right. Firstly, Yah says he sends a righteous ones. Well, he's I've got a blank. Let me just stick with the mother for now. I've forgotten it, but there's another code in this. But this is the important one for this anyway. Okay, so this one says, a virgin, the original meaning of a virgin was a righteous woman. And it's been changed by the church, well, it's clearly by the church, and obviously been changed to mean something that it isn't. Virgin actually means righteous, it means righteous. And when you uncode righteous, it says, oh, use it, Royal Went Hospital Mother. So just to add to it, Mum, you're the divine, and then it's the ID Divine Mother, and I've totally ID'd it using the constellation of the Virgin, and I spy a liar. Okay, right, hold 2 seconds. Okay, folks. Well, about a week ago, I came out obviously out my caravan and walking, and up in the sky was two of the bright. Well, they were absolutely, basically two massively bright stars in the sky. Right. Okay. Now Venus. Right. Lucifer is called the morning star. Okay. And I'm positive this is an omen that these two are conjunct. We've got a conjunction at this time of year for Venus and Jupiter, and I'll show you why now. Firstly, I want to point out that this year starts with January, a full moon in Cancer. Full moon in Cancer. Now, this is the combination safe zone. Firstly and foremost, I didn't realise, but this year also ends in the same a full moon in Cancer. My birthday is right in the middle of full moon in Cancer, and I got a bad feeling that 2023 is going to, well, I honestly think it's World War III. I got some code with that, but I don't want to put it out there yet. But let me just show you what I think is a positive, what this is telling me when I encoded it. And again, I don't encode these things for no reason. I got a little bit more of this. That's what it is. Right, okay, right, I've just seen something. Right, okay. This is your HHH. And I'll show you what that means now as well. Right, okay, right, that just came to me. Right, what you've got to, right, firstly, let's encode, it's not the word conjunction, it's the word Venus and Jupiter, when they conjoin. It means join, they're in line or conjoin together, right. I'm going to put a dot there, the UN. And this is why it conjoins. Hold on, it's not. Bear with me, folks, I've got a blank a minute. Jesuit, what did I see? Oh, yes, right. It's the I is the conjoined bit. Sorry, folks, just went blank there for a second. But as you can see, the Jesuit is these are the ones the sellers of Jesus. And if you go back on my own code, it says Rome's Jesuit Viper something about its king's attributes. Anyway, without getting into that, but UN Jesuit Viper. Well, who is the UN Jesuit Viper? Well, this makes the letter firstly. Well, looking at that, I like the boot of Rome as well. But it's the L, U, the L, is that what I think I spelled that right? Lucifer. It's the LU cipher, is the UN Jesuit Viper. Well, this to me tells me this is the year of the 666. And that's why we need a HHH. I'll come to that now. The 666, which is the Fink, Lawrence Douglas Fink, who is Lucifer, Fink's fallen few. The number of the man, the WEF, when you reverse it, World Economic Forum, is the beast. And I think what this is telling us, the US, well, the US, at this point in time, is still rising, but they've been put in a funny position. There's more to this, but they're being forced into war now to keep their thing going, which is not good. And this is how he's going to destroy the earth. Right, okay. I hate being negative, but I got to be realistic. And it clearly, this is telling me, this HHH tells me a lot. I just realised, well, I got most of it, but that's just, right, okay. So the UN Jesuit Viper, this is Lawrence Douglas Fink. His name decodes. Right, okay. Okay. Right, okay. Oh boy, my head's doing somersaults. Right. Right, the 666 is Fink's Fallen Few. Right, now, right, the 666 are under Melon. This is where their safe zone is. But on top, you've got a, well, bear in mind that Melon makes up the R is the Royal Arch, the G is Jerusalem, and the H is Melon. Well, the H is your 999, which is your 666. But this, I've just realised, oh my goodness, fits this. Cancer, 6 and 9, Cancer, 6 and 9. Your HHH, your H is your hospital, by the way. This is your, and in the code is the Royal Arch of Cancer as well. The Royal Arch of Cancer, G Rus is the lock, and then H is the key. Oh wow! Right, okay. So H is the key, G Rus is the lock. Well, this unlocks the Royal Arch of Cancer, and it's the Royal Gwent Hospital. But H is the key. That is the hospital part of the Royal Gwent, and this is why you've got a 666, 666, and 999 is the. This is the place of healing. I think it's the H-man and the hospital, because I think we're going to need healing after what's coming. The heat, right, okay. Right, okay, so the 999 and the 666, and this is the key of Melon between the two, and you've got the you know, you've got your dollar sign as well underneath, and you've got your Silu star on top, which all goes to Solomon, and you've got your dollar as well, and that goes on the top. This again goes with Solomon symbology. Sorry, I literally just realised that even it was doing this. This is why. Remember, I said there were 3 H's in it. This is the reason for the 3 H's. This is why there's 3. That's what the 3 H's. The 3 full moons in Cancer. The one is the beginning of the year. The second is my birthday of coming to the full, which I kind of did on my birthday as well. Looking back, that's when I rang up and gave my business away for a pen, basically, and started this mission. Then the end of the year is obviously this is December, and this is January. I hate putting dates, but all I can say, and I think the moon is Oman, should be an omen. Wow, that's taken me back because I didn't see this one. Oh boy. Right, okay. Now again, the last one I want to do quickly, just to show you how clever this is. Well, I'm going to leave the H there because this ties again to it, I've just realised. Don't forget that among other codes, Lawrence Douglas Fink anagrams. I won't cross it off, but Lawrence Douglas Fink anagrams to Lucifer and Klaus Gone. Okay, Klaus Martin, what's his name? Schwab. I hope I got this right now, because sometimes I write them down wrong, but Oh, right, I'm Satan's War Club key H is on top of the 666. Sorry folks, I'm a bit all over the place with this because I didn't really prepare for this. It's thrown me a little bit. Right, I know that I'm Satan's War Club H. How does this go? How does this connect to the H as well? Because you've got Bulwark Chepstow. Let me just get rid of this, but that's the good news at the end of it. I think this is, I'm sure this is the year it all ends, folks, or ends for the evil ones. And this is why you better get your hands up to Yah and start asking for forgiveness and doing the right thing. It's okay, so it's right. This is Bulwark, it is in Chepstow, basically. Bulwark Chepstow. But I'm just showing you how it's encoded in the map. That says War Club. Okay, and then we have, right, okay, it says we spot H, oh, CV spot, sorry, it should be, this is CV spot H. Hold on, let me move this over, let's get this right. CV spot H is Chepstow, and then you've got the Stritch, then you've got Stridule Castle, how do you spell this stupid thing? S-T-R-G-I-L, I think I got that right. I know what it says though. It's Cast Lucifer, Sigil True. Now Lucifer's sigil fits over the map. I've done a previous thing on it, and it fits on there, revealing them and the Vatican. And the V on the sigil is add V instead of add VID. Everything seems to be in duplicate, but so add V is Davos. Well, Davos is the place that the WEF, the beast, meet in Switzerland as well. And obviously this is where it's all coded in the map. So Klaus Martin Schwab is on Satan's War Club H. H is the key. The War Club, CV spot H. CV spot on Satan's War Club spot H. We spot H. CV spot H. Stribble Castle. Lucifer. This is Captain Lucifer cast, or the LU Cipher. Lawrence Douglas Fink cast. Sigil True, which gives you Davos, which they put the evil plans together in back rooms. And I'm afraid this is where we're heading, war. I've got more on that, but I'm not going to have time to do it now. But as you can see, folks, it's all there for the taking. Honestly, I really feel this is, and I don't like to put dates on it, but every code and every bone in me, I'm not saying I'm right because I haven't got it, anything. Well, I got something pretty solid, but it's not, well, I say solid, it's about 80%, but I'm waiting for something to tie it all together, and I'm sure it will come. But basically, you need to do this, folks. And if you can like and share, or like this video and share it. I know people don't listen, folks, and just remember this is a reflection of the safe zone as well. This is why Cohen Apkaradic says all code C, go and pray when you anagram him. He's Solomon. And what you've got, this is your safe zone upside down. There's your lock. There's your key. This is the temple, and this is your cup. This is the cup I fill with wisdom. But this is how you need to pray. You need to put your sins in your palms. Literally lower your head. Apologise, unlock your temple, and hopefully, he will guide you in. When the time comes, he'll guide you to this. This is the safe zone. This is the safe zone on the map. This is how I stand when I pray. I stand like I lower my head to say, you know, I've done my praying and saying sorry. Obviously, I still do it, but I've obviously, you know, cleaned. I had to clean this glass, unlock the temple, and then refill it with wisdom, which is what it's given me. Then I see the reflection, I guess, in the water. That's what I'm assuming when I look up, and that reflects down, and that's what's giving me the safe zone with the padlock, the key, and everything else I decode. Believe me, people, this code is not, I don't just make this stuff up, and I don't find it by my own doing. I don't spend hours of the day looking for any of this. I spend, you know, a lot of the time just doing general things. I mean, and when I work these codes out, it doesn't take, well, that last one, that African code was hard work. Out of all of them I've done, but ultimately, you know, obviously, well, I would never have got it without help from above. It just highlights letters and words to me, and then I know it just guides me. It's what it's done all the way through this. Palma de Mallorca, Marco led all a map. That's what it says. There's also our matrix as well. Well, R is the royal matrix. Again, honestly, people, just please do this. Get right with Yah. You know, if you want to comment, well, I'd love to hear comment, positive ones. I'll ignore anybody who cannot see into this code. And I'm not saying if you don't understand it, that doesn't make you bad or whatever, because it is complex, I admit. I try and make it as simple as possible. I don't think I'm the best at doing this, but I never plan to do it. But obviously, if you know, even if you just see some of this and the miracle in it, this is not me. I didn't do this code. It's not my doing. Well, I think I might have been there when it was written up and just forgotten it all, and it's sort of waking me up, and it's all laid out for me to find it, but they lead me to it, or he leads me to it. Yah leads me to it. Whatever the tetragrammaton is the divine written plan. I think the whole world is the might even be, I don't know whether it's the thing I connect to or the actual the Earth and star map itself, but either way, I'm not doing this. This is not me. Didn't go to university, didn't do coding. I didn't really believe in God. I thought I did, kinda, before this all started, but I absolutely know 100% that the one that created this, his name is, and that's the secret spelling of it as well. I won't go into it, but that's how you spell it. But call on Yah. He's the answer. He's who you need to call on. And this is what you need to do. You need to get right with him. And I might sound stressy, but you know, I know my children are safe and my family's safe, but people, I don't want it. And I'm not doing this to deceive anyone. You can clearly see I'm showing you what is there. It's not me making this up and telling you someone, I don't know, an angel or whatever. I would never use these, I never even entertain any of these words. Like, you know, saying well, I can't even say it now after it. There's more I know than I even want to say, I can assure you. But I'm not ready to say it all yet. But most of it is being revealed slowly but surely through the code. And I think it's done this way because he knows that I'm not the type of person that would ever say anything like this. And, well, I'd consider myself a bit of a lunatic or an idiot if it wasn't for the fact that it's in black and white and it just keeps appearing and keeps coming to me every week without fail. I uncode all this stuff. Anyway, on that note, guys and girls, I'm going to knock it out. I hope this video uploads because I think it's quite a long one. But Yah's blessings to you all, and get those hands up and get right with him.